it's being said that this debate against immigration is fear motivated, and populists shouldn't drive up the fears of people. How do you respond to that kind of comment?
This is a real complicated question, and we have to be extremely careful, and we have to be very tolerant with each other. This is a weakness point currently in Europe. We have to see that somebody looking honestly for answers, or they try to use the difficulties for the short-term interest. In this field, I would say that's the interpretation of the migration. What does it mean, the migration? Is different, but those countries, they have migration already traditionally after the colonial time, like French, Spain, Italy, or other countries. And those countries, they didn't have any kind of they didn't have colonial countries, and they are now forced, in the name of the solidarity, take the people. They are migrants or refugees, never know. And in the name of the humanity, it's not a solution the people invite to Europe, and to try to mix the real refugees and the migrants. That is a left-oriented politic, but it's a huge historical mistake to say the migration is good. If a country need for employees, for the market, people to invite to work in the country, they can do it on own, invite the people. But mix the refugee issue with the migration issue, I think it's not correct. And this is a point of my view. Yes. This is the case. And I am frequently in Iraq, Egypt, or in Syria, or in Africa, the part. I have a working group for interreligious dialogue, and we try to manage different kind of conflicts with dialogues and so on. And I'm a member of the development committee, and this reason I'm frequently in Africa. And we have to be very careful what kind of message we send. Concrete example. If we say, quote, Europe has to have quote, every country has to have quote. Yeah, and why don't you accept this quote? Quotes means in Iraq, in the Middle East, not the quotes that you go to Malmö or to Bucharest. The quotes is an invitation letter, like green card to the US. We have quote, they have quote, we invite it.
Let's run.
Yeah, let's run from at home. And we wake up such a kind of hope, what we are not able to fulfill. That's the problem. If you are honest, Europe doesn't need equal citizens from the Middle East and Africa. Need really workers, and need second and third ranking citizens. If somebody would like do it. But no countries should be involved. They don't want it. This is the more or less in the very, very complicated issue my own position.
Today it was very well put. I think that nowadays the people or some people from some countries decide not to change their government, but they decide to change their country. I think this is kind of a good point. Yes, but to me it seems that people should try to change the governments as well and tidy up their homes, and we should probably help them. If it's possible. How do you see that?
Yeah. This is a very good question, but a very complex issue. Sorry, but I have to focus on Africa. Africa is a huge opportunity, huge challenge. I like Africa.
Me too.
And of course, that's said by Africans very frequently. Really the consequence of the colonialism in many countries of Africa, it will be outsourced, the responsibility, to others,
Yes.
somewhere else. Yeah? And of course, the Africa, and I see very positive sign on it, have to take the responsibility in their own hand, and not delivered somewhere else. It's not, first of all, not for China. And this is one thing. The second thing, I think we have to be fit to be partner with the Africans, not to go lecturing. That's as a Central Eastern European, that's what I learned in Africa in the last years. The Europeans go all the time there to lecturing the people. I know better what you want. I'm not interested. I'm generous, I listen to you, but I'm not interested to know it. And this is over. And we see the problematic, how they are rising in the last 30 years, 40 years in Africa. And about the demography, as either is a huge complex issue. But solution of the democracy happened in the history only with better and better welfare.
Yes.
The social situation. Otherwise, it's no solution. The poorness and demographic problem is the parallel, and nobody can solve it with migration or something like that. And this is one aspect. And of course, in Africa, it's a huge continent. Existed all the time. The migration.
Yes.
But in African migration to come to Europe, why? Is it really a solution? And why we don't separate the real refugees, their own life is in danger, with those people? They are absolutely legitimate, they would like have a better life. But the better life, to create a better life in Europe for people from outside Europe, is it realistic or not? This is the question, and I think it's, if you have honest answer, not.
Yes.
It's not an interest for those people they are living, but after why they will confrontate with the problematic of the migration, and it's not an honest answer for own citizens. And if I'm on the government, I am the prime minister, or I have the responsibility. The first responsibility that was elected to make sure the security of my country. It's not egoism, it's a reality. And of course, I have the diplomacy, I have to negotiate, and I have to find the international international field solutions. But the first is my security, the own good. This is own good. Yeah, this is not a question. And finally, I should mention something, but it's totally eliminated the European Union and the most of the European countries. For example, that's the most persecuted religion around the world is the Christianity. And I am working for this working group for interreligious dialogue already for years with many of the colleagues, between one of the most activists, Mr. Tune Keller. And we try to wake up the people, the politician elite in Europe. Europe has a special responsibility for the Christians.
Yes.
Around the world. It's not a question, I am believer or not believer, I am secular or not secular. It's a human rights issue, and they suffering the consequences of the colonial, very frequently the consequences of the secular or the colonialism. Yes. And we wouldn't like help it. We are not able to help on it. Yeah, and this is a special issue. What I think show our weakness. Yeah. And for those people, they are suffering in the Nineveh plan, and the religion, on their own religion for 1,000 years, they are not able to understand. They can't come to Europe, but those people, they have money. They sell their own flats, and they are cooperate with the smugglers. They can get a free free access like migrants. But the real refugees, they're really the camps in Kurdistan or other part in Syria and so on. They don't have the access to this migration opportunity. It's a very, very controversial issue.
Okay, thank you for your thoughts and insights, and it was great having you here.